Is it going?
It's going, yeah, go for it.
Guys, welcome to the next episode of the Lead from the Front podcast with me, Isaac Lewis, and
me, Jack Richards.
Okay, we're going to get straight into it. We've got a juicy one today, so let's go into it. Right, I want to talk about, Jack, my friend, why I hate and disagree with nutrition gurus. Okay, you know the type that you see on like Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO.
Yeah.
The people on there. Why I dislike what they do, how they do things. Not necessarily everything, but
Yeah.
I want to tell you why.
You want to tell me why you dislike it?
Yes.
All right, but I want to know why first, because I know there will be people listening to this podcast who listen to the Diary of a CEO. There will be people that listen to like all sorts of different stuff about nutrition. It's like an ongoing other thing. This is my face when I think about nutrition sometimes and what people are saying about it. I just think, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I want to know what are like your thoughts on these things, because we hear nutrition all the time. You should do this, you should do that. There's a new trend coming out every 5 bloody minutes and people cannot catch a break.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me what your thoughts are. What's on your mind when it comes to this?
The reason I hate them, okay, is because they sell a method.
Yeah.
Right? They have a method and they give it to every single individual without actually finding out anything about them, their values, the context of their life, what stresses they've got going on, their preferences. They just have a method, whether it's Zoe, whether it's vegan, vegetarian, whatever it is, the Fast 800, they have a method and they bang it like a plaster on everybody. That's why I don't like it.
Yeah. And now I'm wondering why this would grate you, Isaac Lewis, but I'm thinking about a little bit about you as an individual and the Lead from the Front program, and thinking about why that doesn't align with what we do. Like, why do you think that doesn't align?
Because we put in such an effort into like finding out individuals what their life looks like, what their challenges, what their values, what's really important to them. Is it family? Is it adventure? Is it fitness, friends, whatever it is? Their preferences, what they've tried previously, what they saw success with, what they like, what they don't like. We do all of that before prescribing anything.
Yeah.
That's why.
But the thing you get with these, like, all these different trends come out, they just believe it's like a one size fits all.
Yeah.
But how many people are there on Earth right now? Like 8 billion, 9 billion, right?
Fair few, like.
There's plenty of people on this Earth, and they ain't gonna all wear the same pair of trainers, are they?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, everyone.
Jack's from Somerset.
I'm from Somerset, yeah.
And I'm from the forest as well.
And
Forest.
you know, it's not a one size fits all, and I think for me, and I think we share this, is that it's grating when we see people having something pushed on them, which may not appeal to them.
Yes.
It's not a one size fits all for everything, you know. And we're not having this topic saying that veganism is wrong, ketosis is wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, keto. Yeah.
Yeah, keto is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, these different sorts of diets. All we're merely saying is that we get a little bit frustrated, or it bothers us when we hear people saying, this is the approach you should be using.
Yes.
It's very frustrating. And like, what impact do you think it has on people? What do you think, when people hear this information, what do you think it does to them?
It confuses the fuck out of them because they don't have a clue what to listen to. It's confusing for them, and some people, don't get me wrong, a broken clock is right twice a day. Okay? Literally, like, think about that. It's right. I know. Hang on. The first time I heard that, I was like, "How the fuck does that work?" But imagine a broken clock. It doesn't move.
Yeah.
Okay. At 2 points within those 24 hours, it's going to be bang on, and it will be right. But for the other majority of the day, it's not going to be right. So, what annoys me? It confuses people because there's so much information. Everyone's pushing their own methods. And the other thing, it makes people feel broken because they will see some people that have these fantastic success stories.
Oh yeah. God.
Okay, they will have amazing success stories. They are the broken clock people, i.e., it just happens to work for them and fit into their lifestyle. But the majority of other people who it doesn't work for, they will feel broken. Oh, I tried this, didn't work. Tried this, didn't work. Tried this, didn't work, and it fucks me off.
Yeah, and it's not just that. Like, it's frustrating for us as coaches because we literally see what happens to people. But like, I don't know, mate. When I think the impact it has on people when they feel like they're broken is like shattering. It shatters people in the sense of they feel like when you feel like you're broken, like you're not going to want to do something. You're not going to try something new or try this new way of doing things.
Yeah.
And like something we preach to people all the time is like you might try an approach with your nutrition to whatever is suitable for you, and it might not work. You've got to give it a bit of time. Try and stick to it. But if it doesn't work, feel free to go and try something else. Until you find something that you can adhere to, you get results and it's sustainable.
Yes.
Okay. And when we hear this thing about this is the only thing you can do, it's just a little bit like fuck off. You can't. It's just not. It's not possible. And it transfers over into other things like training. You could write a training program that would work for you. Right, give it to me. I might be like, that doesn't work. Does that mean I'm broken because it's not suited for me?
Yeah.
It's so specific to the individual.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people really need to. No, I was going to say something. I feel like we have a duty to spread that awareness because people listening back to this might be thinking like, well, I didn't know that till now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. What I believe, and the Lead from the Front program is, ironically, we have our own method, but we do not push the method before finding out stuff. Okay, we find out the information first. That is the first thing as part of our method. Then we choose the method to suit. And the thing is, we teach people how to think properly, and this is something I really believe in, is actually helping people become a better human that thinks, acts, operates more logically, with more control and stuff. You as an individual, like these people who try these things aren't broken. Their method is broken. Yeah. Right, and that is what I firmly believe, because when you think of it like that, like my mentor Phil Graham always taught me, like there's nothing wrong with you as a person, right? Your method is broken. Yeah. Just change your method. Like it's not attached to you as a person. Your success or failure of a diet, of a business, or whatever you're trying to achieve in life is not a personal failure. It's a procedural or systems failure, a method failure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You said something along what you were talking about then, and you sort of said about the method we use, and I think like we have a method, but there's so many different variables to it in the sense to help people find what's best for them. And a big part of this is like, there's two words, ownership and responsibility. We have to help people develop that in themselves, and that comes from us delegating. Yeah. We delegate to our clients. We don't, at this moment in time, at Lead from the Front, we don't write meal plans, okay? We help people. I don't know if you've ever given a meal plan now.
I've given ideas and I have given structure and, carry on.
Maybe. I think what I'm trying to say is, I think what I'm trying to say is that we like to help co-create with our clients.
Yes.
We like to co-create. Like if we were to just give all of our clients all of the information, right, there would be no essence of learning and development involved in it, okay? Yes. And when something's given to you, you do not learn the behaviours, the habits, the systems that have got you from where you are to where you need to go. And that's a massive part of us as our method as such.
There's no empowerment if like just going back to the meal plan thing, long-term meal plans do not work. People do not, if you have been overweight for a long time, out of shape for a long time, not fueling your body, a meal plan is not your answer. A meal plan can be great to get the ball rolling, and we give ideas, we can give suggestions and stuff, but you need to, like you said, co-create is the perfect word. We will give the ideas to start, we will give you that helping hand to get you going, but as you get going, you will start to come up with your own ideas, and we empower you and encourage that, and that's what's so different, and why the nutrition experts and stuff, why I disagree with them, because they don't do that first. Yeah,
perfect. Just a disclaimer, we don't think that meal plans are bad. If it works for you, perfect. But right now, it's something we like to co-create with people.
Yes, meal plans, the majority of people who message us who say, yeah, I just need a meal plan, is wrong. Mostly wrong, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah.
From my experience with myself and working with hundreds of clients over the past 10 years that I've been in the fitness industry, people don't need that. They can be a useful tool. I 100% think they can be a useful tool. Short term, I think they can be very, very useful. But long term, if you can only rely on a meal plan, you have not learned the skill of how to think for yourself and how to set an intention for a night out or whatever, a meal out, and learn the principles of how can you fit this into the context of what's going on in your life.
Yeah, we're getting into meal plans deep right now, but I think back to myself when I was younger, and when I was 14, 15, 16, and I was just starting to figure out like the diet and nutrition things. I'd start with like meal plans, looking at them, but they just didn't hit for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because like I don't want to feel like I'm living my life from a instruction manual or like it's so rigid.
Yes.
We teach people to feel autonomous and to be able to make decisions in their life where if you come home one evening and you want to have a certain meal which is different to yesterday and it's just off the top of your mind, fucking do it, because that's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel like you can guide yourself day to day and what you want to do. And I think that's really, really important. It's something that we preach. But just going back to the thing about why nutrition is so difficult, and this thing about there's right now we spoke today about this thing that's come out from like you see it all. I don't know if you've heard of Diary CEO, but Stephen Bartlett, they're selling this like Zoe thing which measures your blood glucose. That to me personally, not sure how Isaac feels, but I feel like that's a trend at the minute. It's something it's a product there to be sold in order to get people in and make some money. Personally, I feel like there are ways of monitoring, your blood glucose and getting yourself into a good sort of position without having to use all this equipment. Yes, it's beneficial, but I don't feel like it's going to work for everyone. And that comes back to what we were saying earlier. It's not a one size fits all thing. Does that make sense? Yeah.
We're going off on many tangents, but I suppose they are related, because the Zoe thing, for example, unless you're diabetic, like you don't need to monitor blood glucose for every single thing you eat. Like if you eat mainly whole grains, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, a protein-rich diet, if you do that and not too many calories, you are going to be fine. You don't need to, use a blood glucose monitor to tell you that, unless you're diabetic, in which case you'll have.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Like if you are someone that has diabetes and you need that level of monitoring, that's very important.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people that are trying to make waves in their nutrition, it just comes back to that thing of like doing the fundamentals good. You spoke about it just then. You mentioned your protein, your fruit, your veg, those sorts of things. Like people don't have that enough. Like they don't have that steady baseline. It's actually something we were talking to the guys that lead from the front about this week, weren't we? Talking about some basic standards, some fundamentals that we need in our nutrition. And if more people adopted that and adhered to it, there wouldn't be as much need for all these other different fads and things, know. And I think that's why we're having this sort of conversation today, because we want people to understand that there are baselines, basics, that if you do them really well, all these other wishy-washy things in the air won't actually matter that much.
But I just want to caveat as well, like, we do not disagree. Well, I don't disagree with. I don't know about you. I don't want to speak for you. If you are doing Zoe right now and you just fucking love it, and you're getting the best results in your life and it works for you, I agree with that. Okay, I have no problem with that. Just going back to the original point, the problem I have is the nutrition experts and the things that you see on social media are just chucking that method at you, and they have no clue what you've tried previously. And I get it, they're, fucking multi-million-dollar businesses on a huge scale. It's very hard to have that sort of, finding out like, how would you do that on that scale. I don't know. But if you love it and it works for you, I have no problem with that. That's just something that's really important. But the problem is like, they're not doing that.
I totally agree with that as well. I don't hate Zoe. I think if it works for you, like we say all the time, if the method works for you, you can stick to it, it's sustainable, and you get results, perfect. It's really, really good. And to be honest, it's not even the company's fault. At the end of the day, these people that are selling a product, they're just a business. They're a business selling something. As these nutrition people, what the responsibility should be is the people who step into them or use them. Some people don't understand what they're getting themselves into, and I think that's why we're talking about this, spreading that level of awareness to help people navigate nutrition and navigate themselves much better. Does that make sense?
I think it's definitely the consumer's responsibility. I do think it is the company's responsibility 100%. Because why is that? Because take us for example. We have a coaching service, and we sell a transformational journey that gives people results. We have a very high percentage of success rate. It's our responsibility as the coaches and the people putting it out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And you can tell we're doing the right thing because of the percentage of success rate of people who come through. You can tell we're on something. If I don't actually know off the top of my head, but the broken clock example. If things work and actually it doesn't work for loads of people, but some people it does. If it's half and half, there's obviously some sort of issue there. There's obviously some sort of method in there, fault with their method. Again, coming back to the original point of why I disagree with a lot of the big things.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And I just want to say, in this conversation, you'll see that me and Isaac will have different ideas and different opinions. But that's why we have these conversations, because we're both individuals that want to learn. Isaac knows something I don't know, and I might know something Isaac doesn't know.
Sure,
but we're here to have conversations like this, because we can guarantee that you listening back to this will probably be thinking these thoughts, and we want to speak it out loud and have it out and bring it to life. And
that's really, really important, because something I really pride myself on, and I never used to be like this, is being incredibly open-minded. Okay, I have just said a very strong statement around what I believe, and currently, with the current evidence and experiences and knowledge I have, I stand by that belief. But I also am open-minded and willing to be proved wrong. If Jack comes up with this thing, that actually, before doing this podcast, he came up with this amazing idea. I'm very open-minded, and I was like, that's a great idea.
Yeah, too true.
We are able to disagree with stuff, and if you can't disagree with people, if you're listening to this and you're like, Isaac, shut up, I don't agree with that. That's fine. I'm open to I quite like being proved wrong, because then I'm going to be learning and I will be better, which is really important to me. And that will come back to another thing with inside lead from the front. We're happy to get things wrong, to learn something, grow, get things right. Yeah, that's absolutely important. But just pardon me, just thinking back to because obviously it probably feels really difficult for people to navigate this whole thing. We've got these people with different nutritionists with different opinions. You've got me and you sat here having it out, talking about it. But is it? Are people going to feel like they know what to do after listening to this? Do we need to give some ideas, some pointers to help people go forwards on what to do? Yes, join Lead from the Front. Yes, join Lead from the Front. No, on a serious note, I can talk it through now, the methods we use. Obviously, the implementation is what we do with clients, but the information-wise, I would just suggest, look at what's important to you. Yeah. In your life, list it out. What things are really important to you? Is it, I don't know, the fact that I get to pick up my daughter from school at this time on, every day? That might be or drop my daughter to school. That's just one example. That might be really important to you. Obviously list out those values, but just taking that example, get what's important, get what time you have available, and look at the method you're going to choose. What fits into that, rather than trying to change your life the other way around. Because let's just take that. You love taking your, daughter to school or picking your daughter up, but your meal plan's saying, you need to eat your chicken and rice 5 times a day at this time, and if you don't do it at this time, you will fail. You will get fat. it will not work. You're going to feel like a failure, and it's just like stupid. Like, you need to look at what you, and I don't expect listeners to like know this. You know, hopefully this is helpful, but look at the values and the things that are important to you. Look at actually what time available do you have, and get clear on that. Get clear on what you want to achieve, and find a method. First of all, if you do not know how to do this process, get a coach.
Yeah.
Get someone to help you do it, because they will give you speed. They will make the whole process more enjoyable. Do that, but then get the methods and fit it into your life at the moment.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and I think what you said there about getting a coach is important, because like even this stuff right now would be confusing to someone. How do I look at my life and look at all these things with all these different variables? It's very difficult if you find that hard to do, you know.
Yeah.
So a coach like ourselves, we would help that happen. But I think what you're saying there by taking a look at your life and what's going on, it sets that foundation then for you to go, right, this is where I'm at, this is what's going on. But then people can like start to build from there.
For sure.
To start to build. And I think when it comes to like choosing something, an approach when it comes to your nutrition, a method that you want to use, don't be afraid to like change it after a while. Give it a little bit of time, because you know one of the reasons why people don't get results is because they bunny hop from method to method.
Yeah.
But it's to just allow yourself, if things are not going right, feel free to change it, but do give it a bit of a chance. You know, 6 weeks maybe, any less than that. What do you think would be a good time?
It's hard. In my opinion, I don't know. I can't give a blanket answer. I would say if you tried something for 12 weeks and it just didn't work,
cool,
you're fine. But usually, like, something that we would help with is we would give you the success metrics, the thing you need to be measuring, because hopefully you don't want to, like, if you're not measuring anything, you don't want to put in loads of hard work and then get to that day 12 weeks later and be like, this is the day, has it worked or not? Bam. Oh, no, it hasn't worked. Like, we wouldn't do that. We would be monitoring it as we go. So we would be consistent for 2 weeks, actually, so it can be shorter scale if you're measuring the right thing. 1 to 2 weeks of being super consistent, doing it, getting 2 weeks of data, okay, and then being like, right, how's that result been? Because then you can course correct as you go, rather than putting all your hope on, oh, in 12 weeks time, let's see if it's worked. That's obviously a silly way to do it, because you're going to be volatile. It's successful failure. Whereas if you monitor as you go, you're going to be able to get instant feedback and like course correct.
And I think that's important, is that it's the feedback. The feedback is really important, like you said, because some people will start like a nutrition sort of approached goal, losing weight, gaining weight, maintaining it, building muscle, whatever it might be, and you get like a week in, 2 weeks in, and you don't know if what you're doing is working. And then you're like, now what? So yeah, using those methods you just said, or using that approach or tool of like measuring your success, I think is really important.
For sure. So that, I mean, hopefully there's loads of useful stuff for anyone listening. But I just want to say it is a skill to be able to do all this stuff, and like, you're welcome, obviously, always welcome. What you do with your life is your choice. You are welcome to do whatever you want. But just from our experience, you can save yourself a ton of time, effort, money on wasted things and stress trying to actually work it all out on your own. So doing what we've just said there and thinking, what do I value? It's like that is a skill, and that's something we help people with, is work out how to do that, and that would be a whole other episode in itself. Yeah,
if you listen to our last episode, you'll know that we spoke about removing barriers for people. That's one of the barriers we help people remove. It's actually removing that barrier of confusion when it comes to nutrition.
Yes, it doesn't need to be unenjoyable. It doesn't need to be confusing.
Complicated.
It doesn't need to be complicated. All these things, remove barriers and that sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a great conversation, and like you said, I think there'll be some golden nuggets for people to pull out in places.
Yes.
But like for myself, I'm not a nutrition expert, but just by helping people do the foundations, the fundamentals, that helps people live a better life and achieve better results, so I can leave in the front.
really important. There are people who know more than me and have more knowledge, but when it comes to actually like working with individuals and seeing real life changes and helping people and having the amount of people that have said, you've changed my life because we listen to them and do that, and then, you know, actually apply it and help them through it, is, I don't know what I'm saying, but we have enough experience of that real world result, and we're always willing to learn and stuff like that. But
yeah, I think through the way we practice our profession as such, and the way we do it, it guides people, you know, and by doing the small things really well, people get good results. And that's, I think this is the final thing I'm going to say with nutrition. So I know I've been talking for ages, but
it's good.
it only has to
Run free.
You can't let me fly, man. You know, it's just about doing the basics really well. And that's the main thing. You know, the people we work with are people that just want to be a better version of themselves, physically, psychologically, and you can do that by doing the basics bloody well. And I think that's the final thing I would say.
Yeah, agreed. Is there anything? Hopefully that was useful. I mean, I enjoyed that. I do have a strong opinion on that. For the reasons that I said, in that, like, I don't like how it can damage people's confidence, and it makes people confused as fuck because they don't have a clue what they're doing, because there's so many conflicts. Which method do I choose? So I suppose hopefully the take home and what I believe is, and why I disagree with a lot of those methods, is that look at you first, look at your preferences, your lifestyle, your context, and look at that. Fit the method into that afterwards, but think about that first. You know, don't cherry pick. Me and Connie were laughing. Connie's my fiance, if you're listening, but we were laughing. She was listening to a vegan podcast, and again, vegan can be great, like, and especially for whatever reasons you want to do it, that's totally cool. But she was like, oh, I could just go vegan, and then I was like, what do you like? She was like, oh, and then later, like literally a few hours later, we're going for a meal out after an event, and she was choosing what she wanted off the menu, and she was like, oh, I really fancy a double bacon cheeseburger. I was like, how are you going to be vegan?
Yeah.
She loves chocolate, she loves bacon double cheeseburgers, she loves like loads of stuff. And I'm not saying you're not capable of reducing things, and you don't want to be bacon double cheeseburgers every day, but think about your preferences, because the conversation we'd had like a few nights before was that nutrition, I want it to be enjoyable, I want to make it little changes and do it as I go, and then to go to that, that's why I feel so strongly about, you know, my opinion on this.
I'm going to add some more value now.
Yeah, go for it.
Straight away, like the thing it does in my brain, right, and I think this is what happens with like social media and like a lot of things in society, these massive like bombs get dropped on people, and it leaves a huge effect. It like literally messes up people's emotions, their feelings, and they're like, I'm going to try something new. And it's just like, it can throw people off course, and it's really disturbing to people's progress. And I think that's very frustrating, isn't it, to see? You know? And you know, I've done it in the past. You know, I've heard like, I'll listen to a podcast or I'll watch something and someone will say, you've got to start doing it this way, because if you don't, you're going to die earlier and you're going to get health problems. And it scares people into starting to do something. And I think what is important to me, and what might be important to you, is important to me is just raising a level of awareness. When people are listening to stuff, taking on information, really think about how it makes you feel and whether that aligns with what you want from this whole process.
And another thing is like, listen to, like, really look and listen at who is giving this information. Like, is this person in a position to give me advice on the thing that I want to achieve? Okay, if there was a bodybuilder listening to this, we are not in a position to be giving you advice on bodybuilding. All right,
look at me.
You know, we're both fit, strong lads, but we're not bodybuilders. We are not in a position to give you advice on that. Okay, this is the wrong podcast, obviously. But if it's someone like, you know, if you're listening and you're like, actually, I'd love to make my nutrition really work for me, make it a really enjoyable process, enjoy my whole life, fulfill my full potential, and live life on my terms, and make, you know, have a body that I'm proud of, then yes, we are very good people to listen to, because we literally do this day in, day out, live it ourselves and help hundreds of people with it. So when it comes to like listening to nutrition experts and stuff, don't just take it. Like, it is partly, you know, your own responsibility. You can't just take something and be, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. You know, you've got to think, actually, just everything you listen to, even stuff that we've said, you might disagree with, which is fine. But then think, where's this coming from? What of that is relevant? What's useful? Take what's relevant, get rid of what's not. You know, and that's your responsibility as a person to funnel it and filter what comes in and pick what you like, because you're going to build up your own, you know, view of the world and how to live your life.
Yeah, love that. I think you've, for me, I haven't got a lot more to say. I think you've said that really, really well.
Yeah, awesome. Enjoyed that. Love it.
Yeah, good.
Until next time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. This is episode 3 now. 3. And do what you got to do. Like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, I think, and follow on the podcast. Leave a review.
Yeah, drop comments.
That's the one.
Give us your thoughts. We want to know.
Leave a review. That'd be amazing. But guys, see you in the next episode. Hope you found that useful, and catch you next time.
Cheers.